Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Muay Thai Save Me. I'm with my business partner, Edwin Lopez, and we actually have an awesome guest today. His name is Garrett. Garrett, what is your last name?
My last name's Gage. Garrett
Gage. Garrett Gage.
That's like an acting name, right?
Right.
Like if I went to the movies, I was like, oh shit, did you see Garrett Gage come out on part 2 Mission Impossible as the bad guy?
I mean, hopefully.
Garrett
Fingers
Gage,
crossed.
like.
I appreciate the plug on
Yeah, bro. I don't know. You have an actor's name, so it's pretty cool. Garrett Gage. I didn't know that.
I always get reminded of Mortal Kombat when I think of Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage,
Yeah. But similar, but
and
not.
same thing, actor. Like the martial arts actor.
That's
There it
right.
is, yeah.
That's right. But Garrett, a lot of people that might not know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, who is Garrett outside of the gym?
So I'm from the great state of Washington,
Okay.
which I am the king of the north. No big deal, okay? I moved down to LA about 11 years ago. And I just always wanted to live down here. I did, I've been trying to pursue a career in acting. I just loving being down here. I love the culture. I've always been very adventurous. A little bit more of my background. My mom was a school teacher for 42 years. My dad was a professional cowboy. He rode bulls and bronc horses for his whole life.
Wow.
Yeah, he was actually the youngest member of the PRCA, which is like the Professional Rodeos Association, at 14.
Wow.
At 14, he was riding bulls and bronc horses for a living. And then at like 16, he got his driver's license, and then he had a truck and a trailer, and he was just driving the country going to rodeos.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then for people that don't know, that's a rough, tough sport like that they do. I've seen it. I'm so amazed by people that do that. Actually, a shout out to one of my friends. We also trained together. He was my WBC Muay Thai champ. That's actually what he's doing now. Yeah. He's like really into, and I'm just like, man, that's intense.
Dude,
That's a lot of adjustments the next day, right?
Oh, yeah. Man.
What adjustments? Those guys are hopping in a pickup. Like after they're done, they're hopping in a pickup truck and driving the next like 2 days to get to the next rodeo to put money in, to basically bet money, to then go and try to win money.
So how does that work? You bet on yourself?
So there's like an entry fee. So you pay to enter the rodeo, and then say for like bull riding, you win the first night or you get a high score.
Okay.
Then they bring you back for another ride, and they do like an aggregate. So the best on like 2 or 3 rides wins the money, and then and then they place it out like like the first like 4 or 5 places, but then no one else gets money. So like it's like only the top few people get cash, and everybody else. So if you ride bad, you're just instantly hopping in the truck and trying to head to the next rodeo. And it's just how the World Championships works is it's accumulation of the amount of money you make gets you into the finals, and they take the top 15 earners. So it's about how much you earn.
Got it.
And grind it out. But you're putting in all that money that they're winning, they're putting it right back in to get into the next thing. And you got to think about this too: gas and travel and all that stuff.
And did you ever follow those steps at some point?
No. So it was really funny. So my mom's whole family is all farmers and ranchers, and then my dad's whole family has been cowboys, going back generations and generations. And I kind of wanted to do a little something different, and my parents really encouraged that too, because my dad was like, he's like all just busted up and broken. He's just like, he's like never like, don't do this.
Go to Hollywood, boy.
Yeah, straight up. Do something great.
Go to Hollywood, Garrett Gage.
Just be a cowboy on screen. He's like, that's it, John Wayne. He's
there you
like,
go.
Make some John Wayne movies. I was like, all right, Dad, I can do that.
So is that what brought you here to LA originally, Garrett? Like just to just kind of pursue acting like a lot of people do from out of state?
Yeah, it was that. I come from a very small farm town, and my mom's always encouraged a very wide worldview. She's taken me over like 16 different countries. Because every summer when she's a school teacher, she'd have the summer off, so she would take me on a trip somewhere. So
That's cool.
we went all over the world, and she showed me like I've been to England and Paris and Amsterdam and Fiji and Australia. I've gotten to go to a lot of different places, And so because of that, you know, I have this need to want to be around different people from different cultures. And LA is just that perfect melting pot. There's just so much to do and so much interesting things and so many different stories and perspectives. And I just love that about that, you know.
Okay. Now, with that, what were you doing fitness wise prior to MTK? Like what were you in? Because I know we spoke and you said you had done some, was it Kenpo? Or?
No, karate.
Karate, okay.
So back up in Washington, I did karate for 13 years. My mom got me into it as a kid. I always wanted to do karate. I always wanted to do martial arts. Because like growing up, I'd watch like movies like The Karate Kid. You know what I mean? Like, nice. Who doesn't love, you know, you're the best around. You know, like fucking, I love that. I loved shows and movies where it was like training. It's like you work really hard, you put in the effort, and then you get to the thing, and then you beat the bad guy and get the girl. You know what I mean? I love that feel, and so I always wanted to be in martial arts.
Okay.
And so then my mom enrolled me into Shudokan Karate.
Okay.
With my first instructor, Sensei Young, and she was very rigid. She was very like very traditional, very like, this is how you kick, this is how you punch, you know. And not a lot of warm and fuzzies. Like a little bit of warm and fuzzies, not a lot. And then her instructor, Sensei Mac, was strong and rigid, but lots of warm and fuzzies. So it was kind of that interesting combo when you'd get between the two of them, because his school was like a city away, like about 30-minute drive. But I trained in that up till middle school. And then middle school, I stopped to do a middle school sport. So I did like football, basketball, track, and I did that all through high school. And then I stopped. And then obviously when I went to college, I wasn't doing sports, and so my fitness kind of slacked off. And I kind of slumped, and then I was like, I took a karate class again, which was through the college at that, and my instructor was like, do you want to come back, you know, after that class, you want to come back and get your black belt? And so I worked on that, and then I got my first degree black belt, and then I was teaching and training there for a while, and then I went and tested for my second, and then about the time after I tested for my second, I moved out here. And then I got out here, and I went to some karate schools around here and kind of checked them out, but I was just kind of burnt out with a little bit of the structure of a traditional school. You know, it you know, when you're in karate and a lot of those, you know, everyone's in the gi, everyone's in the belt, everyone's paying attention, everyone's quiet. There's a rigidity to it, and then so I got out of shape because I wasn't doing that, and then I finally decided to get back in shape. And that's when I found MTK.
Okay.
And I found you guys by calling a bunch of different Muay Thai schools on a Sunday, and nobody was open but this school. And so I was like, all right, this is the place to check it out, because if they're open on a Sunday, they're the place. Okay. And I just love the vibe. I love the flow, and I love how here everyone can kind of be their own self. Like if you want to show up, wear some pink shorts and, you know, a Hello Kitty shirt, like go for it, you know. And if you want to be all, you know, like in black and decked out and looking tough, like you can do that too. And so that's what I love, the ability to express, but there's still that you know, unity and uniformity and stuff to it.
Well, how did you go from like karate, and then what got you into Muay Thai? Like, did you see something? Were you?
So I actually went again. Because kind of COVID hit, so really my weight and everything took a big plummet when COVID hit, and then the relationship I was in disintegrated.
Okay.
And that didn't work out. And so like I got really low and really down. I was like, I got to get back into shape. And I was like, I want to train. I want to hit a bag. I want martial arts. So I started to look up martial arts because I was like, I don't really want to do karate. Like I was like, I've been doing karate. Like I want to try something different. You know, I want to expand my mind. And so I was looking at like Krav Maga, I was looking at jiu-jitsu, I was looking at judo, and then Muay Thai. Muay Thai was the things. And it seemed like there was a very strong push for Muay Thai. A lot of people are like, this is very practical. It's very good. Yeah. There's a lot of good things that come out of it. And I, you know, and I watched some of the Muay Thai fights from Thailand. I was like, dang, like that's rough. Like, that guy's really tough. Like they're just bare shin, like right to some guy's solar plexus, and you just see him crumble. You know, like that's hard. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll check that out. So I was looking at that in judo, because the other cool thing was, as I liked about judo, was it had a little bit of that belt ranking system. It had other things, but then you got to throw people. You know what I mean? I was like, that would be really handy, because everything seems to come to a clinch. You know, but I liked the striking. So I was like, I'm gonna check out Muay Thai, and there was the clinch elements in Muay Thai too. So I was like, okay, this seems like it's fairly well based, and so.
Okay. Now, when you signed up, what were your goals for yourself? Like when you found us and you're like, oh, this is the gym for me.
Yep.
You know, what were your goals back then?
My goals back then were, so my goal weight was 200 pounds because I was like 250 at my heaviest.
Wow.
I think when I finally joined the gym, I was like 246, 247.
Okay.
Because I kind of started to run a little bit because it's that weird mentality of like, I got to get in shape so I can go to the gym.
Yeah.
What? Like you go to the gym to get like, but I was like, I can't show up like totally dead. So I think I was around 247 when I started. And then now I'm weighing at 204. But I was just telling Edwin, I feel like my girlfriend's scale is a little off because I'm like at 202 at my scale. So I'm like, I don't know about that today. But I did hit my goal weight. I hit 199. I took the picture.
That's awesome.
Picture didn't happen. But then I kind of slacked off a little bit because, you know, it's like, oh, okay, you achieved it like now.
Yeah.
So, but now I got a new goal weight, which is 195. So,
So what is the total? I'm bad, man, buddy. What's the
50 pounds around. Yeah.
50 pounds?
With
that's
before ponytail.
before ponytail.
Yeah.
When I had my hair.
So
all
when you had the
that.
ponytail. So.
That's right.
But let me ask you. So I know we were just talking about how you lost all this weight, but you were also mentioning how you were very proud of our app that we have, which shows you how many classes you take and all that, which gives you like a sense of like gratification, like, oh wow, like look at, like it gives you, I don't know, was it motivation you think, or what is it that you like?
It's a sense. I feel like it's the sense of accomplishment because you like, you know, when you look at either whether it's the months or by the bars and see the total year with the graph. The months, individual months are kind of nice because you see like these nice little rows and you're like, oh yeah, I'm consistent. I'm not missing classes. And then when you do miss a class, there's like a little gap here and there and you're just kind of like, it's that one day, you know. It's that nice little sense of accomplishment. And then when I click on the bars and look at the entire year, that's when I'm like really stoked about it because, you know, the lines on mine are like 20 and 40, right? It shows like 20 classes and 40 classes. And most of my months, I'm well above 20 classes, hovering around them 40 classes, you know, a month. So that's me in the gym at least 5 days a week, every week. You know, and that's always my goal. 5 days a week, every week, whatever time. Take the weekend off, rest, regroup my body, do the rehab, ice, whatever I need to do, and then right back in on Monday, and then just, you know, hitting it as hard as I can.
Now, because you've hit that milestone, just going under 200, do you have any new goals now? Like,
Yeah. 195 is my new weight goal to get that. It's so funny. As soon as I hit the 200, David goes to me and he goes, all right, 190, let's go. And I was like, whoa, buddy, pump those brakes. It was a struggle because I plateaued. I want to say at like 205, 203. That's where where if I don't take care of my diet, but I'm training, where my weight kind of sits. When I'm taking care of my diet, I can get that dip and that stuff like that. But it's like, that's tough. The diet's always the hardest part. So to get to, but David said, 190. I was like, maybe 195. So again, that's my new thing because I want to get that nice dip under 200, have that 5 pounds, hit it. You know, knowing me, because history repeats itself, I'll do my best not to, but if I slack then a little bit, at least I'm going to be, if I get a couple pounds, at least I'll still be under that 200. And that's when I'll key back in because it's just that slow learning process that takes place that you just got to build on the successes. Celebrate and then, you know, build. Don't take too many steps back, you know, but it's okay to take a step back, but keep progressing.
How much of your nutrition in the 50 pounds that you did originally lose did you change? Because I don't think you can just Muay Thai without changing your eating alone. That had to have been sub-discipline. That's a lot of weight to lose.
Yeah, so there were a couple tweaks that I did do. I honestly didn't change it too much. But like when it came to sweets, because I have such a sweet tooth, that's when I kind of shifted a little bit. I started to do more fruits than like chocolates and candies because I'm just a big chocolate guy. At the end of the night, just a nice, whatever chocolate. I don't care if it's some cake or Hershey bar or whatever. Like I want a little bit of chocolate at the end of the night. So switching to fruits, mainly like pineapple and like really sugary sweet stuff, that helped. That was a big shift in getting away from candies and those stuff. I 100% stopped drinking soda, stopped drinking pop, because even before I wasn't a really big pop drinker. I've always loved water, but like I really 100%, like I wasn't having any of it. And even like sports drinks, not even like Gatorade. Like I was just like regular water and alkaline water. I love alkaline water. So it was like those two things which when Kru gave his little sheet of things to change, I was like, oh, well, the alkaline water. I'm like, I already do that. That's no problem. So it was cool when you had, because you have your little sheet that says these are the things that'll help you. And there's already a couple things, you know, when I went through it, I was checking them off. I'm like, okay, that's easy. That's easy. Well, I don't know about that one so much. And then kind of going down. So,
now, Garrett, how long have you been with us now?
Oh, well over a year. So I started just after COVID, when we still had to like do the masks in the gym and stuff. And I did that for 6 months, and then I got into a car crash, and then I was out for 6 months, and then I came back, and now I've been a full year plus, like for like 3 or 4 months. So.
Nice. Now, during that time, what has kept you motivated, right? Because a lot of things happen. I mean, you're now in a new relationship, right? You have a lot of things going on. What kept you on point of still coming 5 days a week, right? Because most people are guilty of when they get into a relationship, they start slacking off, right? But you didn't. You were like, no, babe, I'm still going to come to the gym. I need to get my 5 days in. What was that inspiration? Where did that come from?
I think it comes from, honestly, like my mindset after my last breakup, which is kind of crazy, is because after that happened, and you know, I was out of shape, and there was a lot of, you know, and I did go through depression and stuff like that. Like I did, you know, like I was talking to my doctor. I was like, dude, I got to change something in my life.
Yeah.
And so the first thing that I changed was exercise, because I was like, that's something I can do. That's 100% something I can control. So just that routine and just that thing is like, that's not going to stop me, because this is keeping my mental health in order. Because if I'm staying good physically, then I'm staying good mentally. And it's the gym environment too. Our gym has such a great feel about it. You know what I mean? Like everyone's, you know, for the most part, when you come in inside, I mean, I'll admit I'm a little bit of a spark plug, you know, so I get up in there and I make sure I light that fire a little bit to try to bring everybody up. But then when that happens, it's like, that's all it takes. Is like, if you know, if you get in there and you get excited, everyone gets excited.
Absolutely. Happiness is contagious, but also negativity and unhappiness is contagious too.
And it is, and it creeps in. So you know,
you and Chris, you're like the girl version. I mean, the guy version of Christine, right? Like very. No, I'm seriously like where you guys bring that energy.
In a good way.
Yeah, like I love that. Like between I think you, Robert Brown, and Christine. I mean, there's a few more, but like I always see you guys. Like you guys are like have that energy you guys bring in at all times. Rare that I see like those days where you're just not with it and you're just there to work out. Like you always want to get people involved, have a little group, get people, you know, going, because it is an intense, you know, workout. It is at times where you don't feel like it. I mean, it's just normal for us, but it seems like you guys are always looking out for, you know, other members and want to bring out the best in them and just kind of like rev it up, because you feed off of each other's energy. I genuinely, I know Neil and the rest of the team appreciate that, because, you know, there's times where people just, at least they show up, but they just don't feel it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and I think that's part of it, is that you can actually accomplish more when you're feeling better. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing of when you're sitting there and you're in pain and you're focusing on the pain, that's when it's like, it gets to be unbearable and it feels like it's too much. But, you know, if you and me are sitting there in plank and I'm, you know, just talking to you about like the weather and like what, you know, what's going on, and be like, man, isn't it crazy that Kru wore the same shirts as all of us today? He must have read the group chat finally for once, you know,
yeah,
which funny. I always joke about. But, you know, if you're sitting there, right there, how many seconds passed and we didn't even think about what we were doing and when we were in the pain. You know?
Well, and one thing I always appreciate about you too, Garrett, is like when we have tryouts or first timers, I always feel comfortable bringing them with you, because I know you're going to help them be at ease and don't be shy. It's okay. And then you'll take care of them and give them guidance. And we always appreciate that about you, Garrett.
No, and I appreciate it too. And, you know, because you always say it too when it's new member. Think about when you were a new member.
That's right.
And I do, and I think back to, and it's funny, history kind of repeated itself a little bit with me. So I was at the gym, and I can't remember if it was Coach Ed or Coach David put me with a new guy, and he was throwing teeps, right? He was throwing like a front kick, and he was kind of hitting kind of low, and, you know, we're kind of like, you know, make sure you're getting up and bat, and he totally like, you know, nailed me square in the junk. Oof. And I was just kind of sitting there, I'm like, you know, and then I instantly flashed back. It was like one of those weird like flashback moments, you know, like in the city, you know, where I flashback to one of my first or second classes, and I was with Robbie, who was one of our guys that used to be there, and I kicked him in the junk.
Yeah.
And it was just because my foot just kind of slipped and just kind of went there. And Robbie was so chill and cool about it. I was like, no, it's okay. And I'm like, dang, I got to pick my kicks up. And it's so funny because right after that, that dude, he hit the bag square. He was not kicking me again. He was like on target for the rest of class. But it was weird. Kind of, I was like, oh, wow.
Like that
circle.
deja vu feeling,
I was like,
right?
I remember. I kicked someone once in the jewels too, so I guess it was my turn, you know.
And speaking about when you started, did you how did you feel in that moment in the first day? Because I remember myself, I always talk about it. Like I remember, like it's the weirdest thing. I took hundreds of classes. When I was Neil's student for a long time, for 8 years. Mm-hmm. Like I can't remember. I can remember some classes, but I remember very clear my first time being nervous. I remember what I was wearing. I remember everything.
I mean, I remember what I was wearing. It's so funny you talk about wearing, because I just kept remembering. I just kept looking at the shorts, and I was just like, "There's no way. There's no way I can wear those short shorts. How could anyone wear shorts that short?" You know, because I show up and I went and got like some nice Hayabusa like board shorts. You know, like they were fight shorts, but they were like knee length, and I was like, okay, this is where I'm gonna live. Now, if you look at me, like I have so many different colors and so many pairs of Muay Thai shorts, and I wear them. And I'm like, oh, these are way more comfortable. I don't know why I'd ever even think about wearing board shorts, but it was one of those things where I was just like, no, I felt very welcomed. I liked too when like one of my first days when Kru walked me in and he showed me the bag. He's like, this bag right up here at the front. This black bag. This is the bag. So it's like for my first 6 months, and even when I kind of came back, I was always that bag. I named it. It was Gerard. Okay, I actually named the first 3 because every so often I'd get a class where I couldn't get that bag. So I'd be like, okay, I can't get Gerard, so I'll go to Winston. Okay, Gerard and Winston are taken, so I'll take what was the third bag? I think it was Charles. It was like a Gerard, Winston, and Charles. So,
you might set a trend with that. People might start naming bags too.
Or maybe they already have and we don't even know. We should ask that to other guests.
You should. But hey, if they don't know the first 3 black bags, closest thing, or if they don't know that they're Gerard, Winston, and Charles, now they know.
And now that you've Garrett, now that you've kind of really became really like a center of the of the community and everything, and everybody knows you, everybody loves you and all that, and you tend to bring a lot of people under you tend to bring a lot of people under like your wing and everything. Like what, like aside from like the weight, and staying healthy, what keeps you going? What keeps you every single day? Because I'm sure there's days, correct me if I'm wrong, where you don't want to go work out or things like that. What keeps you going and what keeps you consistent and all that?
It's the fact that, not to get all weird and corny with it, but when you ever watch those old martial arts movies, like it's kind of like the Karate Kid, like the third Karate Kid. He always goes, Mr. Miyagi, why every time I have a problem, I come over here, you have work for me to do? It's you go, no matter what's going on, you go into the gym, and there you can kind of control your environment. You can control your world. You can control whether you're throwing a good punch or not. You know what I mean? And you're letting it out. You're putting out that physicality. And I feel like, again, that, and then taking yourself out of that mental state, because you're in a different mental state, because you're like, I got to focus. I got to make sure I'm hitting the pad. I don't want to hit the person that's behind me. Or maybe you're there for sparring, and then you do want to hit the person, And so it's those different things that allow you to kind of escape what the problem is for that moment. And then, my old martial arts instructor used to have a saying, sensei used to have a saying, she's like, when you come in, set your problems down in the dressing room, come out to the mat and train. When you go back in and you leave, you can take them with you if you want, or you can leave them here. And I loved that mentality. Yeah. It was such a good thing, is that like whatever was happening out there, leave it at the door, come in here, kick butt, train, and then if you want to pick it back up, and pick it back up, and if not, then move forward and do what you got to do. So that's my thing, is even when I don't want to do it, it's like, no, do it. Just come in and just gut it out.
I like that. I like that. And have you ever had those kind of conversations with? Because I'm sure members with members speak a little bit more into depth than, when they speak to Kru and stuff like that, and especially he's going back and forth. Have you ever had those moments where people have been like, you know what, I'm giving up, or you know what, I don't want to do it anymore, or anything like that, where you have felt? Because I know, me and Neil, especially Neil, he sees it with individuals that are consistent and everything, and then just out of nowhere, it's the weirdest thing. They'll either quit, something happens, or life happens outside, and it kind of affects their working out. Which one thing that I realized since I started working out, it's like, and Neil has always told me, like, it for that he has more energy after he works out than if he doesn't. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I hear that from a lot of people. Have you had members like that where you've told them, like, hey, don't give up, you need this and stuff like that?
What I've tried to tell a lot of members is this is what I see what happens a lot with a lot of the members is a lot of people come in and get super excited, and then they're like, I'm gonna push it and I'm gonna do 2 classes a day, and then you see them and they're just doing doubles like every week and just cranking it out, just doubles, and I'm telling them, like, watch out, man, because you know you if you're doing doubles, you're doing double the work. That means you better be doing double the rehab. Like, you're gonna have to heal your body. Your body has to heal at some point. So if you're coming 2 classes a day every day for 7 days a week, and you just started, like, your body is eventually going to hit a wall. There's going to be a recoil to it. And so because of that, then you're going to have downtime. And then when you have that downtime, that's when the consistency stops. That's when the routine stops. And that's when the moment, like, it's easier, you know, like, I'll go tomorrow. You know what? Maybe I'll just go for a jog today. Maybe I'll just do and then the excuses come in, and then it stops. So to me, it's about the consistency. It's about just trying to maintain and stay that consistent. You know, and then if you need to, then when you get to that consistent level, then push yourself, then do a couple classes, you know, like I said, so make sure you're just staying with it. Keep that schedule, keep the consistency. And if you can't, you know, if your schedule does change, there's a million classes. Like, I love that you kind of take that excuse out of it. There's a 5 a.m., 8, 10, 11:30, 1, little break in the afternoon, 5:45, 7:15, 8:45. There's literally no time that you can't get in for at least that 1 hour out of your day to figure it out. And that's a huge changer.
Let's do a commercial out of that little speech you just did. I was just like, we should have it in the
Thank you,
bathroom.
Garrett.
We should have it in the bathroom when somebody's taking a piss. Be like, hey, how are you? It's your first day?
Hey, it's your first day at Muay Thai. I know what you're thinking. Funny shorts, right?
But you know, it's really true. I think people get excited. People love it. People love the community. People love they just love the whole aspect of it, and they do go gun ho. And I think you're right. I think it happens with a lot of things where just people go, and then you do hit that plateau. Not that plateau, but you hit a wall. In that moment, you're like, today I'm gonna rest. It's so hard to pick that back up, especially if you're going really hard.
There were days when I first started. I remember we did this on a leg day where I can't remember. We were doing something with a weight, and it was like calf raises, and I was just cranking them out because I'm like, yeah, I got this. And then the next day, my calves were literally like rocks. They were just solid. Like, I had trouble, like, you know, I'm gonna be real. I had trouble walking to the bathroom. Okay, like, it was everything was hurting. Like, I was having to grab walls, and I just kept thinking to myself, like, I'm still going to training, and I did. Yeah. And I walked in, and I could barely walk, and I'm still going in, and I did the workout, and then, like, again the next day it was like a little bit easier to walk, but it was still hurting. Like, but you just kept going, you just keep pushing through it, and so it's those moments when it's easy to make the excuse. And you just gotta just keep going. Just put that foot in front of the other, you know.
I love that, man. And Garrett, you know, just before we end it here, for anyone that might be watching right now, listening, and is a little intimidated, maybe is really on the fence, like wants to do it, but there's something holding them back. What would you say to those people that are watching or listening right now? What would you say to those people?
That's holding them back from taking that fitness step, or just joining Muay Thai, or just all the above. Yeah,
because, you know, like you said, Muay Thai is very brutal, and you're just like, man, but you were one of those special people that you're like, I want to do that, right? But there's some people that they want to do it, but there's something that's just holding them back a little bit.
I would say is if anything you think is going to hold you back, the only thing that's going to hold you back is you. It's always that. There's no one stopping you from doing the thing you want to do besides you. So if you decide, hey, I'm gonna go do Muay Thai, or I'm gonna get in shape, or I'm gonna lose 10 pounds, you're the one that's gonna have to do the work, and you're the one that's gonna succeed. You know, and it's all, you know, and it's not going to be pretty all the time. There are going to be bumps. There's going to be failure, you know, but you can do it. You just got to keep going on it.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Just do it.
I love that.
Nike, boom.
Edwin, do you have anything?
I just honestly have just mad respect for you, because just for the simple fact that 50 pounds is a lot of weight to lose, man. And to stay consistent and you had an accident and you took a break and you still came back. I think there's people that come in good shape and then they just hit that bump and they quit and they never come back. And we see it all the time, and it sucks, you know, because it's just like business or anything else. Just hang on there. You like one day at a time. Take it inch by, like we always say, inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard, you know. And we stick by that because it's just, you just have to be consistent with it. You know what I mean?
So I'll give you one last thing on that. The thing I got to give that full credit to is my mom. 100% on that, on that no quit mentality. Like she's, my entire life, she has never let me quit anything. Even anything I ever did, even whether it was sport, whether it was soccer, no matter what. If I didn't like it, she'd be like, stay with it to the end of the season. Stick with it. Just stick with it to the end. After the thing's done, then if you don't want everyone doing it, you don't have to do it, but stick with it. So I'm like, okay. So that's always been my thing for my whole life, is that there is no quit. There is no give up on that. Like you just keep going. Like, you know, and if it falls apart, it falls apart, but you're the one that's gonna, you know, it's gonna fall apart on its own. I'm gonna ride it till the wheels come off. So
that's dope, bro. Can we get her on the podcast?
Yeah.
Be like, well, have her come and give a speech and all that, you know?
Come on down.
She's gonna see that, by the way. Just come down, you know. She'll be giving a speech.
Listen, I'll tell you, she's also like I'm gonna give a little props to Kru over here. Kru, you were one of the most positive people I'm around. You know, that's really in you know, one of the people in my life. My mom is probably number one. Nice. She just lives in that realm of positivity. Nice. Her thing is, you always say every day is a good day.
That's right.
She always says tomorrow's a new day. That's what she always says. Tomorrow's a new day, and you can make it what you want. And then my dad always says every day above ground's a good day. So it's so funny. So I have all these people that are always like, each day is a good day. Every day above ground's a good day. The next there's a new day every day. And
I love it.
Yeah.
That's dope. I love it, dude.
Fist bump.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Fist bump to mom. Hey. There you go. That's good, dude. Anyway, I love it, man.
But thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you for hanging out with us, Garrett. We appreciate, you know, for those of you that know Garrett, I'm sure you learned some stuff about Garrett. I know I did. I didn't realize he was a bit of an actor here. I didn't know you were going into that field, but guys.
Not right now. But.
Okay. But guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing Garrett's story. But just remember, guys, Muay Thai saved me. We just like to do this every week, bringing different guests on board and just sharing how Muay Thai has impacted their life in a good way. But if you like this video or like any of our other content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, that share button, okay? And stay tuned for next Tuesday, next episode. You don't want to miss it.